Hello students, welcome to this session. I've just solved this JEE Main Test 90 and here is the analysis of the paper. I've regarded 3 as tough, 6 and 25 because of calculation. 25 is not that tough and 8 is actually tough. 14 are medium, 8 were easy. So going by the what it is given, I can say the good score for an average student in this would be, let's say, 8 and 7, 15 questions. So 50-55 should be the score here, and for a very good student it has to be 80 plus in this particular test. One end of a thermally insulated rod is kept at a temperature T1 and the other at T2. The rod is composed of two sections of length L1 and L2, conductivity is K1 and K2, the temperature at the interfaces. Okay, so let it be T. Let's say heat flows from here. So because they are in series, heat will be same. So H1 is H2. So the first one, what we'll write, K1A into delta T, which is T1 minus T upon L1, would be equals to K2A. Here the temperature difference I'll write it higher minus lower, T minus T2 upon L2. So what we are left with, A and A goes. So K1 L2 into T1 minus T is equal to K2 L1 into T minus T2. So it would be K1 L2 T2 T1 plus K2 L1 T2. I take it this side, and if I take from that side, that would be K2 L1 plus K1 L2. That is going to be the temperature. So looking at this option, 1 2 1, this is wrong, 1 2 1 wrong, 2 1 1 wrong, 1 2 1 only the D1. I have not taken the screenshot completely, but it is this one. Next one, you have three infinite long charge sheets placed as shown in figure. The electric field at point P is. So what would be the electric field at point P? Just look at this. Due to this first one, it would be downwards. Due to the second words, it would be upwards. Downwards, not upwards, because it is negative. So 2 is also downwards, and the third one is also downwards. So the net field is addition of all two. The first one generates sigma by 2 epsilon naught, second one 2 sigma by 2 epsilon naught, third one sigma by epsilon naught. So it is 4 sigma by 2 epsilon naught, downwards it is, so minus k cap. So minus 2 sigma by epsilon naught k cap, that is going to be the option. So looking at it, it is option B I will go for. Next, lambda be the wavelength of the hydrogen atom from the transition 3 to 1, then what is the wavelength for doubly ionized lithium atom for such transition? For such transition for lithium, we say energy proportional to Z square. So energy is 9 times, so wavelength would be 1 by 9 times for sure. So it would be equal to lambda by 9. I can directly go for. Next, radioactive sample has an activity A1 has twice the number of nuclei as S2 having activity A2. If A2 is twice of A1, then the ratio of half-life of S1 to half-life of S2 is okay. So activity of S1, which is lambda 1 N1, it is activity A1, and for A2 is lambda 2 N2. And the number of nuclei has double. Okay, so first of all, given A2 is twice of A1, put it here. So lambda 2 N2 is 2 lambda 1 N1. Now N1 has twice the number, so let's say it is 2 lambda 1, it is 2 times N2. Lambda 2 N2, N2 goes, so lambda 2 by lambda 1 is equal to 4. So the ratio of half-lives, you know, T1 by T2 is inverse to lambda, so that is lambda 2 by lambda 1, that would be 4 by 1. So going by this, it is option A that we will take. Next, sun subtends an angle of 0.5 degree at the center of curvature of a concave mirror of radius of curvature 15 meter, the diameter of the image of the sun formed by the mirror. Again, the same question that came in what we say is your NEET test some days before. The same question. Sun subtends an angle of 0.5 degree at the center of curvature of a concave mirror. So at the center of curvature it subtends. So let's say the rays which are coming from the sun, let's say it subtends like something like this. So this is the angle it is subtending. This is 0.5 degree. Now because it is coming from a very large distances, image would be in the focal plane. So image would definitely be in the focal plane, and because it is from center of curvature, it will return like this. So what will be the diameter of the image? This is the diameter you will write. So this angle you know is 0.5 degree, this distance you know is f. So directly you can make it out because it would be very small as compared to that. So theta you can write 0.5 degree, that is 0.5 into pi by 180 would be equals to diameter if image upon focal length. So diameter is 0.5 pi into 180, and focal length you know is r by 2. R by 2 means 15 by 2. So this is 12. So this is pi by 24. Pi by 24 into 2. This is pi by 48. I can write. So it is pi by 48 meters, or you can write 314 upon 48 centimeters. So if you do this, this will come out as 4850. So it would be 6 point something, I'll guess. So 6.55 centimeter you can go for. Next, the glycerine of a density 1.25 into 10 to the power 3 kg per meter cube is flowing through a conical tube with end radii 0.01 and 0.04 meter respectively. The pressure difference across the ends is. The rate of flow of glycerine through the tube is. Okay, so you are given pressure difference and the end radii are given. The rate of flow you need to find out. So how you find this rate of flow? I think you don't remember the direct formula, I suppose. So how I will go, because I'll assume it is the same height. So I'll say P1 plus half rho V1 square is P2 plus half rho V2 square. So now out of the two, what I can say, this one has a smaller one, so P2 speed V2 would be greater, so P2 is lesser, P1 would be greater. So P1 minus P2 is half rho V2 square minus half rho V1 square, and I can write V2 as R1 square, R1 to the power 4. Now here, out of the two, this has a smaller radius, so P2 would be lesser because V2 would be greater, so P1 would be greater. So P1 minus P2 is half rho V2 square minus half rho V1 square. Now I can write this V2 square and this, let's say V1 square, V1 square I can write as A2 V2, that is that would be proportional to, I can write R2 to the power 4 R1 to the power 4 into V2 square. So if you do this, this is half rho V2 square is common, 1 minus R2 to the power 4 upon R1 to the power 4. So put the values, P1 minus P2 is 10, density is 1.25 into 10 to the power 3 V square, V2 square I am searching for, 1 minus R2 by R1, that is I can write 4 by 10 to the power 4, or you can say point. So this is what we have, 16 into 10 to the power minus 3 I can write. This is V2 square, 1 minus, this is 0.4470, 0.0744, sorry, what I can say is 0.9744. okay, so this is what we get. So V2 square we get is 16, 10 to the power 3 I can make it out here, 974.4. if you do this, this value approximately comes out as this is 0.16 I can make it out. This is V2 square, so V2 is 0.4 I can make it out. So the volumetric flow rate dV by dt is AV, that is A2 V2. if I write pi into R square, that is 0.04 whole square into V2, V2 comes out as 0.4. so it is what I can write, it is 16 into 10 raised to power minus 4 pi into 0.4. so 16 4s are 64, 6.4 into pi what we have, 3.14 into 10 raised to power minus 4, that we can write. So if I do this, what I'll get, 20 upon 1.25 into 10 raised to power minus 3, that is V2 square. I can write it as 2 by 5 to the power 4, that would be 2 by 5 to the power 4. if I write, it would be 16 upon 625 I can write. So what we get left with 625 minus 16, that will give me 609 upon 625. V2 square is 20 upon 1.25, that is what I am getting, okay, into 10 raised to power minus 3. So the value of the V2 square is 20 into 625 into 10 raised to power minus 3 upon 609 into 1.25. So if I do this calculation, now this on solving, if I have done by calculator, now I have taken a break and done by calculator, it comes out as 0.128. this V2 comes out as 0.128. Now volumetric flow rate would be A2 into V2, that is pi into 0.04 whole square into 0.128, and if you completely do this, this comes out as 6.43 into 10 raised to power minus 3 meter cube per second. So as per the options, this is option B that I'll go for. So it's too much calculative, but what can we do? We have no choice. We have to live with it, whatever it is. Next, when radiation is incident on a photoelectron emitter, the stopping potential is 9. If E by m for the electron is this, the maximum velocity ejected is, so you know K max is 9 eV because it is stopping potential is 9. So half m V max square is 9 eV. So V max comes out as root of 9V into 2 times E by m. You can directly say, and this E by m is given, so it is 9 volts, sorry, so no need to write this V here. You will see what we will multiply. 9 into 2 into 1.8 into 10 raised to power 11. So 9 2s are 18. So it is, you can write 18 into 18 into 10 raised to power 10. So it's easy for you now. 18 into 10 raised to power 5 meter per second, or you can write 1.8 into 10 raised to power 6 meter per second. That is what you can go for. So it's an easy calculation. Next, definitely easier than the previous one. 1/4 length of a uniform rod is placed on a rough horizontal surface. Rod starts rotating about the edge at an angle theta between the rod and the horizontal rod begins to slide on the edge. If coefficient of friction between rod and surface is mu and x tan theta is 4 mu, fine. Now this is going to be a tricky one. Let's say this comes at an angle theta like this. So this is the CM falling like this. Let this angle be theta. Normal will be like this. Mg is like this. And to give the centripetal force, there should be some static friction will be acting like this, and limiting case Fs max is mu n, you can write. Now first of all, let us find I about this point. I know you know would be about Cm is ml square by 12 plus ml by 4 whole square. So if I solve it, it comes out as 7 ml square by 48. So first of all, applying energy conservation, the Cm falls by L by 4, and this height would be, because this angle is theta, it would be L by 4 sin theta. So mg L by 4 sin theta is 7 ml square by 48. So that is not 7 ml square by 48, that is half I omega square. Write it clearly, half into 7 ml square by 48 into omega square. So omega square for you comes out as 48 into 2 upon 7 into 4 into g upon L and sine theta. So omega is like this. So it is 2, 2, 24. So it is root of 24 g sine theta by 7L. So therefore the normal acceleration or the centripetal acceleration of the Cm is omega square L by 4. That comes out as 24 g sine theta upon 7L into L by 4. So it is 6g sine theta by 7. That is A normal. Now writing the torque equation, tau is I alpha at this moment. So torque is produced by mg, and this gap is L by 4 cos theta. That is I, that is 7 ml square by 48 into alpha. So alpha here comes out as 12 g cos of theta by 7L. So A tangential of Cm would be alpha into L by 4, that is 3g cos theta by 7. Okay, next. Towards center, the force we will be having is Fs max, and mg component is mg sin theta. That is m into A normal, which is 6g sin theta by 7. So what we have, this is Fs max. What it comes out as, Fs max comes out as, this was 6 by 7 and this is 1. So it is 13 mg sin theta by 7. This is the first equation. Along the tangential direction, you have the mg component would be mg cos theta, minus n is ma tcm, which is 3g cos theta by 7. So this normal comes out as 4 mg cos theta by 7. This is the second equation here. So Fs max is mu s times n. So mu s divide both, that comes out as 13 upon 4 tan of theta. So as per the data, 4 mu is x tan theta, so x will be 13. So it's not an easy one. It's actually going to be time taking and a tougher one for all of you, that is for sure. Now after this bouncer or very tough question, you can say, not a bouncer but it's actually tough, you can't call it easy. Next one is easy, I suppose. Potential energy varies with distance x like this. Okay, A, B are constant dimension of A's. So first of all, dimension of B, you can make it out as L square. So what we have, A root x dimension is u into L square, that is ml2t minus 2 multiplied by 2, that is ml4t minus 2. This is L to the power half, so A would be ml4 minus half, that is 7 by 2 t minus 2, that is what we are getting. So going by the options, this is D. Again, not that tough one here. You have two masses, small m, capital M greater than small m, joined by a light string passing over smoothly. Center of the mass moves with an acceleration. So what do you have? This goes with acceleration a, this goes with acceleration a, and that a you all know is m minus m upon m plus mg. Now for cm, acceleration of cm taking downward is positive, what we will have? M into a, that is plus a, plus m into its acceleration is upward, so I'll write as minus a divided by m plus m. So what we have now, m minus m upon m plus m into a, so it comes out as m minus m upon m plus m whole square times g downwards. So going by this option, this is option B that we will tick now. Next, you have a block of mass m pulled by a uniform chain of the same mass small m tied by applying a force F at the other end. The tension at the point which is a distance of quarter of length of the chain from the end will be. So first of all, treat both as a system. So total F would be equal to total mass 2m into a. So acceleration is F by 2m. Now take this as a system, this one. For this one, this tension is the only external horizontal force. So tension would be total m plus 3/4. 3/4 means 3m by 4 into a. So it is 7m by 4, and a you know is F by 2m. mm and m goes, so it is 7f by 8. You can write it as 7f by 8. That is what I am getting the result, and I think there is a mistake here. There's this m should not come, it should be 7f by 8. This is a typing error from their side. Next, a ferromagnetic material is heated above its Curie temperature, so it will become paramagnetic. So what will happen? Domains are perfectly arranged, no, becomes random and not influenced. Ferromagnetic material changes into not diamagnetic, sorry, into paramagnetic. So out of these, this is a better one, they becomes randomized. Next, sensitivity of a moving coil galvanometer is S. If a shunt of 1/8 of resistance galvanometer is connected, its sensitivity becomes. Now what is this sensitivity first of all? So sensitivity is deflection per unit current. Sensitivity, what do you write as? Deflection per unit current. That is what you write. Now if a shunt is connected, definitely what will happen? More current can now flow. More current can now flow, so the sensitivity is definitely going to decrease. Now a shunt increases the range by n times, and S is G upon, this is the shunt, no confusion. So shunt is G by 8 is G upon n minus 1. That means the current range become 9 times, so this factor definitely S will become S by 9 times, because the current will now be 9 times more, so deflection per unit current will become 1 by n, so go for S by n. A ceiling fan rotates about its own axis with some angular velocity. When it is switched off, angular velocity becomes 1/4 of original in t, and then revolutions are made. The number of revolutions made by the fan during the time interval before switch off and rest are. During the time interval between switch off and rest are, okay. So switch off to rest complete you have to find out. So first of all, what we are given, from omega to omega by 4. What we can write? Omega square by 16 would be equal to omega square plus 2 negative alpha, I will write minus alpha, into theta, that is n into 2 pi. So what I can make it out, this is 15 omega square by 16, that difference is equal to 2 alpha into 2 pi n. That is what we can write. And for the complete stop from omega to 0, you have to write 0 square as omega square plus 2 into minus alpha into, we can say, number of revolutions n total into 2 pi. So omega square is 2 alpha, n total into 2 pi. Better divide both. 15 by 16 would be becomes n upon n total. So n total will become 16 n by 15. Go for option C in this case. Next, ball is thrown from the ground to clear a 3 meter high wall at a distance of 6 and falls 18 meter away from the wall. The angle of projection is, that means the range is 24 meters for sure. The range is 24 meters. And x is equal to 3 meter, y is equal to 3 meter for x equal to 6. Y is 3 for x equal to 6. So equation of trajectory, you can write it in this form. I remember, if you don't remember, write in other forms and you can take it out. So y is 3 is 6 tan of theta, 1 minus 6 by 24. So this is 1 by 2, this is tan theta, this is 1 minus 1 by 4, that is 1 by 4, that is 1 minus 1 by 4, that is 3 by 4, sorry. So tan theta would be 4 by 6, or 4 by 6 you can write as 2 by 3. So tan inverse 2 by 3, that is going to be the answer in this case. Next one. The potential energy of 1 kg particle free to move on x-axis given by this. Total mechanical energy is 2 joule. Maximum speed. So for maximum speed you need k max and u minimum. So for u to be minimum, do du by dx, that should be 0. So what we get, x cube minus x equals 0. So what we get, x square minus 1 is equal to 0. So we get x equal to 0 plus 1 and minus 1. Check the values. U at x equal to 0 you know is 0, u at x equal to 1 you know is 1 by 4 minus 1 by 2, that is minus 1 by 4 joule. U at x equal to minus 1 again would be equal to minus 1 by 4 joule. So minimum energy is minus 1 by 4. That means k max will be 2 plus 1 by 4, that is 9 by 4. Just remember, k max can be greater than E if u reference is taken as negative in some cases, or u is negative at some point. So k max is 9 by 4. So half into 2 into V max square is 9 by 4. So V max directly you can say comes out as 3 by 2, 1 kg, sorry, it is not 2 kg, it is 1 kg. So it would be 9 by 2, so it would be 3 by root 2 meter per second in this case. So go for option C. Next, when a wave travels in a medium, the particle displacement is given by this, where A, B, E, C are constant. The maximum particle velocity will be twice the wave velocity. First of all, wave velocity is omega by k. So omega by k, if I do, that would be C by B, B by C. Omega is coefficient of t, so that is B by C. V of particle max, that you can directly make out as 2 pi b omega. This omega by k ratio 2 pi didn't matter, but here 2 pi will matter. 2 pi b into a. And what we need this Vp max to be 2v, that is 2 pi b a equal to twice of b by c. 2b goes. So what we have, AC is 1 by pi. So first option is the answer. AC will be equals to 1 upon pi for this to happen. Next, rectangular wire loop with length A, width B lies in the xy plane. Within the loop there is a time dependent magnetic field, okay, where C and omega are constant. The magnitude of EMF induced in the loop as a function of time is. So if you check it out, the x cos omega t I cap plus y sin omega t j k cap, sorry. So what we are concerned with, the area vector will be along k cap, so I am concerned with. Now to find the flux, let's say take any element like this, because it is varying with what, it is varying with y coordinate. So go at a distance y and take a strip of this dy. So its area would be a into dy and flux would be b. B is cy sin omega t, I can assume it to be constant, into a dy. So the net flux would be the integration of this, that would be Ca. If you do this integration, this is y sin omega t dy. This will vary from sin omega t will also come out, you can take it out from 0 to b. So Ca sin omega t and b square by 2. So b square Ca by 2 sin of omega t, that is the flux. So EMF we know is minus d phi by dt. So that would be minus, what I can write, omega b square Ca by 2 cos of omega t. So the magnitude of EMF would be, this is b square AC by 2 omega cos omega t. What we are getting, this is the option A, I think that is the right one. So option A is the answer for this question. Next, 19. We have two particles m and 2m at a distance a. Find the speed of particles and the relative velocity of approach when the separation becomes a by 2. So you don't only relative velocity, I can say. So because they would be moving assumed and only under gravitational attraction, VCM is 0. So the complete loss of energy will convert into kinetic energy, and that k dash only will gain. Gain will occur only in k dash, that is with respect to C frame, if you know, because KCM will remain 0. So I can directly write this delta k dash is equal to delta U loss. Loss is initial minus final, that is minus GM into 2M. Initial was at distance A. Finally minus minus become plus GM 2M upon A by 2. So it comes out as, if you solve it, as GM 2M by A positive, and K dash would be half mu. Mu you know is M into 2M upon M plus 2M into V relative square. So I can directly go for this V relative is what we have. This 1M will go from here, and this, or let's say 2m I'm cancelling from here, so it would be 1 by 3, 1 by 2, 1 by 6. So it is 6 gm by a. V relative I can get root 6 gm by a. So that is going to be the answer, that is option D. I have gone for the C frame theory because we have to only calculate the V relative. This is the easiest one. Otherwise, apply momentum conservation and energy conservation. You can get from that also, but that would be lengthy. In a CB transistor, current gain is 0.98. On changing the emitter current by 5 milliampere, the change in collector current is. In common base, we say this alpha is the current gain, which is delta IC upon delta IE. So delta IC would be 0.98 times 5.00 milliampere. So it would be slightly less than 5. It is solve it would be 4.9 milliampere. So go for option C. That's an easy one. Next one. In the electrical network shown in the figure, what would be the potential difference across the 3 ohm resistor? Okay, so across 3 ohm means between these 2 points A and B. So between A and B, 6 and 3, this becomes 2, 2 and 4, 6, and this is 12. So the upper branch is 2 and 4, 6, the lower branch is 12. So double current will go there. So 12 ampere will go there, 6 ampere will go there if you divide. So 12 ampere. So what we have now, this is 12 amperes. So this is 12 amperes going into this 2 ohm. That would be the potential difference across AB. I can directly write. So 12 2s are 24 volt. I can directly say. So the potential would be 24. And if you want to divide the current, this 12, this would be 8 ampere and this would be 4 ampere. So from there also you can go there. 8 3s are 24. Next. Internal energy of N1 moles of hydrogen at T temperature equals internal energy of N2 mole of helium at 2T. So you know, for hydrogen it is a diatomic, so N1 into 5R by 2 into T, that is equal to N2 into helium is 3R by 2 mono into 2T. So this R by 2 goes. So the ratio N1 by N2, if you will solve, this is 60 upon 5T. So that is 6 by 5, 1.2 you can go for. Next. What is the amount of heat needed in calories to convert 10 gram of ice at minus 10 into steam at 100 given that? Okay, so these standard data you are given. So first of all, let's say this is 10 gram ice at minus 10. So to bring it to 0 degree ice, first only temperature change, amount of heat would be ms delta T. M is 10, specific heat is 0.5 and temperature change is 10, that is 50 calories. Now to melt it 0 to 0 and it becomes 10 gram water. So this would be ml, so 10 into 80, that is 800. Then to heat it to 100 degree water, it would be ms delta T, 10 into 1, because it is water, specific heat of water will be taken, that is 1000. So, and now 100 degree steam. So steam, 10 gram steam, you know that heat is known as 540. So that would be ml 10 into 540, 5400. So the total is 5400 plus 1000 plus 800 plus 50. So what you have? 6400, 7200, 7250 calorie that you can write. So it is 7250. That is going to be the answer. 7250 calories is needed. Next one. Thin film of soap lies on the top of a glass plate. When visible light incident almost normal, two wavelengths are strongly reflected. What is the minimum thickness? So these are strongly reflected, that means there is a maxima for them. So we have this soap film like this. This is 1.4, this is 1.5. So when it is reflected from here, phase change of pi, it is reflected from here, again phase change of pi. So simply the reflection is countered. So you have only the part difference 2 and T, n is the, what we can say is the refractive index of the soap film, that would be equal to some m times lambda. So what we have now, these are the two successive wavelengths. So what we can have, if this would be m times, so that would be m plus 1 times. You can directly go for this, or you can say the possible lambdas are 2 nst upon m. So what we have, one is 630. So 630 would be, let's say 2 nst upon m is equal to 630. So 2 nst upon next one, m plus 1 is equal to 420. You can directly say, because there is nowhere in between. Okay. So these two are strongly reflected. So what we can have now, just divided. You divided, this goes, this goes. So m plus 1 upon m is 63 by 42. 63 by 42 is 3 by 2, that means m is 2. So m is 2, so you can directly go for m is 2 corresponds to 420. So 421, that we can say 2 into 420, basically, yes. And this is m plus 1 upon m. Okay, no, 2 corresponds to 630, sorry. So this is my mistake. So 2 into 630 would be 2 into ns, it is 1.4 into t. So t comes out as 1260 upon 2.8. You can do this 1260 upon 2.8, and if it comes in its table, I need to check it out. So let me do this 1260 upon 2.8 or 12600 upon 28. So if I do the table of 28 you know is 140 is 5 times, so it would be 4 times. So 28 4 is what we have 56112, so 140 will be remaining, so 450 nanometer will be my answer for this particular case, taking into account this nanometer. So answer is 450. Again a nice question, slightly calculative, not very much calculative. Now last one. Police car at 30 meter per second chase a cyclist, sounds horn at 180 while both of them move towards a stationary siren of frequency 160. If it is given that the motorcyclist doesn't observe any beats, that means for it the frequency of this and this will be same. So what would be for 160? 160 will appear as f would be 160 because it is observer and it is going towards it. It would be 330 plus velocity of motorcyclist upon 330, and the frequency that he is hearing of the police car, because police car is going towards it, that is will be both effects will become in Doppler. So 180 it is going away, so it would be 330 minus v of motorcyclist, and that was going towards the motorcyclist, so 330 minus v of police 1, and police 1 is given as 30, and you are given these both are same. So equating it 180 330 minus v of motorcyclist upon 300 is equal to 160 into 330 plus v of motorcyclist upon 330. So what we are left with, this 0 and 0 goes, so this is 11, this is 10 you can write, so this 0 also goes. So what we have, 330 minus Vm upon 330 plus Vm, if you will do, this is 160 and this will come out at 18 into 11, that is 198 here. Okay, so if I can simplify 160 and 198, if I can make it out, let's say this is 280 and this is 99, 80 by 99 I can write. So 99 into 330 minus 99 Vmax is 80 into 330, it is coming plus 80 Vm. So if you do this 330, I'll take it common, 99 minus 80, that is 19, that would be 99 plus 80, that is going to be 100 plus 179 of Vmax. So V of motorcyclist would be 330 into 19 upon 179. Okay, this is coming out to be almost a ragging for us. It's not an easy one. Now how you will simplify this, I am not in the mood. I am using the calculator. You do yourself. I would have done, but I am right now not in the mood. So it would be 35.03. if I can make it out, 35.03, that is I am getting, they have given answer as 35.02, but I am getting 385.027, so I will write it as 35.03 in this particular case. So that was today's paper. Thanks for watching.